Lovers Quarrel. It's a long, sustained quarrel.
What's going on, world?
Hey, everybody.
It's your guy, TJ, Mr. New Cool.
And it's your girl, Dani, your perpetually poor Pomeranian.
Pomeranian like a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You poor?
You know, yeah, because every time I feel like I get a smidge more money, and then it's like a slew of bills come in. And it's like, I got to pay off my tires. I got to pay the rest of my car note. I got a hospital bill. I got like all these like kind of like one-off bills, like not even the regular ones. Well, the car note's regular, it's monthly. But
he said more money, more problems.
And that's the truth. I saw somebody posted on Facebook just today. I think it was Cheval. And her post today had me cracking up because it said that I hate adulting because it's like as soon as you wake up and stretch, you owe somebody $150. And I'm like, that is 150% correct. Like,
but we all wanted to be adults.
You know, but I wanted to be adult so I could stay up late and go where I wanted. I didn't want to pay bills. I had no desire to pay bills.
But being an adult, you got to take on.
Yeah,
unless you're like affluent.
Yeah, but I just think that like it's well, at least I'll say this: our generation, people at our age and older, like we were sold the dream of like adulthood is wonderful, and you know you do when you grown, and like there were a lot of things for us to look forward to, and then we got there, we were like, this shit is for the birds. Like this is so, you know, and like you have more money, but then like you don't have any time or energy to do anything. So it just becomes like you get up and you go to work, and then you like sleep through the weekend. You know what time I went to bed on Friday, babe?
Sometimes you go to bed on Friday.
It had to be at least by 7:36 p.m. on a Friday night. Tatum and I were laying in our bed, laying in our bed, and we were knocked out. And you know why I said 7:36 p.m.?
Why?
Because you texted me at 7:37 p.m. and my motherfucking ass did not answer you back because you texted me, and so then
I just figured you ignored me like you always do. So.
I don't ignore you.
A lot of times you do, but
I don't ignore you. If I don't answer you, it's because I'm like 99.9% of the time it's because I'm at work or something's going on.
As you were posting away
today, I was
posting away.
First of all, I'm trying to show you the world, nigga.
My fault.
Second of all,
where we going?
I don't know, but all I'm saying is, so I tweeted TJ today. I posted on Instagram today. I was like, I don't know where we going, but we traveling next year. Me and TJ, like we going somewhere.
Oh.
And
okay.
he was like, where? And then I didn't know it existed, but I found the little GIF feature on Instagram. So I put the Aladdin reference, and I'm like, we going to go find a whole new world.
Listen.
And he was like, how we paying for this? And I was like, we going to scam our way there.
Okay. Listen.
Right. You the master scammer anyway.
Come on, yo. You being hot right now.
TJ,
anyone listen, I don't do any scamming at all.
TJ just is very creative in his frugality.
Listen, I can't do any crimes with Dani. She gonna tell everybody. Young Takashi over here singing like a bird.
Whatever.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. Tired, but I'm not like.
I mean, if you weren't tired, then
would this be an episode of Lovers Quarrel?
Yeah, or would you be Dani? You know.
Listen, I work hard for my money, and it goes right back out the window. But I'm okay. I'm not beat, but I'm also like, you know, I use the bedtime feature on my iPhone to see like what time would I need to go to bed in order to get like a full 8 hours. My ass is supposed to be in bed at 9:30, like asleep, REM cycle. And
you do what Eric do.
Turn off the phone.
Well, he puts on Do Not Disturb. But see, the difference is you would be on Do Not Disturb, but you're gonna be surfing IG, Twitter.
For part of the time.
BuzzFeed.
Part of the time.
A lot of the time.
But then I would go to bed. I just want to be in bed by like 9:30.
I mean, it's possible.
It is, but I feel like it isn't. It just feels like I blink and it's 5:45 in the morning. I blink and it's 2:25. I blink and it's 5:30. I blink and it's 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then it's like I'm in bed. I'm like going to sleep not until it's like 11 o'clock or something like that, and then I'm just like shit. I was like, I only got 6 hours.
Adulting.
Exactly. It's a fucking crock. But anyway, still good. I'm in decent spirits, all things considered. How about you?
I was waiting.
I know.
In my mind, I was like, she's going to forget to ask me, so I'm going to have to be like, how are you doing, TJ? I'm just going to be like, oh, I'm doing well, Danny.
Oh, so you were prepared to shade me because you thought I was like
That's not
inconsiderate.
shading. I was prepared to help you in your time of need. I'm doing well.
That's good. You look
excellent.
good.
Thank you.
Real small.
I look real small. I mean, I looked real big.
No, you just.
You know, ever since getting the surgery, a lot of people like compliments. It's like, oh my God, you lost so much weight. And to me, every time I hear it, I'm like, how big was I? Even though I've seen some pictures, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
But I knew I was getting bigger because like certain stuff wasn't fitting. But I was like, oh, reason to buy new shit.
This is true.
You know, I was told that I look lighter.
Lighter skin?
Like my skin look lighter. You know,
you're glowing.
I'm out here. You know,
your teeth look whiter.
I never had a problem with my teeth, but
I know. I mean, you didn't. But I'm just saying, like everything's. You're light on your feet. You're moving. You're agile.
You know, listen, God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
God is good. So.
Let's step in this elevator.
All right. Are you
going up or down?
Up.
All right, I'm going up too.
Would you like to go first or would you like to go follow?
No, you can start.
Look at us. Somebody lose weight and you're nicer to me too.
I let you start last week, I feel like.
I don't remember.
I allow you to go a lot of time. Women's first. Unless you were going down then. Or, no. Unless I was going down, then I would have went first. Because I like to go down and out. But anyway, whatever. Go ahead, Danny.
So I am going up. And...
Sounded lazy. Sound like the elevator person. They didn't get paid.
I'm sorry. Didn't your elevator person get fired?
No.
No, I'm sorry. He got late. You know why? He did get fired for what? Stealing.
He definitely didn't get...
Because he wears a bellman's uniform with black Air Force Ones.
Listen, we're not going to do this.
What was his name? Richard?
Benson.
Yeah, Benson.
Benson didn't wear black Air Forces.
Benson got caught.
Listen, anyone
rifling through people's purses in the staff locker room
would know black Air Forces is a no-no.
He was caught rifling through people's purses.
You know, I think about
in
that.
The staff
what if someone
locker
came
room?
to a job interview in black Air Forces?
I would hide everything that wasn't nailed to the fucking ground.
But is it like you gotta hire them because you already know what they're capable of, or?
I'm calling the police on the spot. I'm gonna have. Matter of fact, I would have a panic button installed under my desk.
Just for black Air Forces.
Alert, call security.
Anyway, go ahead.
Call security.
You know.
Anywho, so my up is just, we're in October now, so we're about a month and change into the school year. And although I have some outliers that are honestly beyond anything I've thus experienced as far as a teacher, as far as like negative things, I really do have some kids that make me like genuinely happy. Like I am genuinely pleased to see them. I've got such a relationship with them that they want to talk to me about like conversational things. Like it's not always just like, I want to talk to you about school stuff or I want to talk to you about drama and stuff. Like they just want to have conversations with me and they want to help. We're recording this on a Tuesday. And so this week alone, like one of my 7th grade boys, he was like, Miss Patterson, you like my mom. He was like, and then another, and like they give like when I was out sick with everything like that, I was like legit giving like multiple hugs. Like I have multiple kids every day who hug me. Like when they see me, when they in the morning, when they come into my classroom, when I'm at the door greeting them, and then even like today, everybody loves gym, and so I had 2 of my 8th graders who, when I was like, hey, do you think you guys want to help me like clean up the lab materials during resource? And I was like, but it means you probably won't make it to gym. And they were like, no, that's fine. Like we'll stay back there with you. And we ended up like, I got like a lot of stuff done and I was able to actually take a break because they were helping me. But also like they were having a conversation and we started talking about high school and what they wanted to do and where they wanted to go. We talked about whether or not we believe in ghosts and aliens and like our, you know, our theories on that type of stuff. And it was just nice because as awful as people try to like paint middle schoolers to be, myself included, because they can be sometimes, there are other times and moments like when you really take the time to build those relationships where like I really like, these are, some of my kids are like really dope people. And I love that like they care so much about me and what I think and who I am and stuff, that I, you know, that I'm somebody that they want to be around. So I don't know. It just kind of, it made my heart happy today because, you know, especially when I need that to counter the negative interactions that I have with some other students who aren't there yet with me or with any teacher, as far as that like rapport and that relationship that's being built. But, you know, it makes me happy. We've been through a lot together.
That's dope.
Thank you.
That's really dope.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's important, you know. Obviously, you're making a difference to them. Because they see you as a mother figure, and that's, I feel like whenever you can look at someone as like a mother father figure, they have an impact. Mm-hmm. And I think that's more important. I mean, for school, at least for me, I feel like that was more of an impact of having a teacher who cared and wasn't there just because it was a check, or wasn't there just because it's their job at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, it's so much of what teaching is relationships, and being an advocate or a resource to children is about building a relationship with those kids, because, you know, we oftentimes have come as a community, as a culture, from kids not needing to, not, you know, it being like you need to be seen and not heard, you know. And there are times where, you know, kids need to, you know their place, and they don't need to jump up into grown folks' business. But at the same time, like, kids, just because it's not necessarily directly happening to them doesn't mean that the fact that they're in proximity or they're indirectly affected by something doesn't mean it like it has no impact on them. Because I mean, let alone today, like you and I, you know, with our family, we've talked, myself and my sister have both talked to you about these like rough, horrible things that have happened to our kids, our students. And I mean, this is, you know, kind of going down on the far side of things, but at the same time, like, we can't expect children to brush off or internalize or bottle or push through all these like traumas that happen to them, and then, you know, and just be, you know, put a smile on their face because like you're a child, you're supposed to be in a child's place. No, this stuff is happening to them too. So it takes relationships to help them, like, for them to trust you enough for them to believe you when you're like, this is horrible or this is hard and this is difficult, but you're gonna get through it.
I think that takes the teacher to realize this child had a trauma, and they probably don't give a fuck about this lecture today.
Yep.
They probably even shouldn't be here today, but they are here, so let me try to accommodate them the best way possible. Or if they're acting out, send them to the school therapist. Or like, I think a lot of people don't understand that. Like, if a child doesn't respect any adult, like they don't respect their mother, their father, it's gonna be hard for and this is just my opinion, I think it's gonna be hard for a teacher to get said respect. Now, if the teacher gets said respect, now they can kind of build upon that, you know. But when a child is raising themselves, if a child is dealing with things, how can they really cooperate? How can they really comprehend or even want to? There may be some kids who's going to school just because this is the only way that they're going to eat for the day.
Yep.
So when they're doing that, their mindset isn't about school. Who gives a fuck about school?
Yeah, and sometimes, and for some kids, some school is like the only time of the day where they get to be like a child. Like they have to be
That
grown
too.
up everywhere else, and then so they, it's a lot of variables. And there's some kids who are like very well adjusted. They have a great home life, and there's nothing, but they just you just become another part of their village and another trusted adult in their life. And I've taught every version of those of each type of child that we've described, and I've been the teacher who like. At this juncture in your life, like you respect me more than you respect your own parent, which is wild to me. And then I've had ones who was like their parents' word was law, and it was like I don't have to listen to you. You're not my mom. This and that. I have no desire to be your mother. No child that I pushed out or had taken out of me would be acting like this. But it's still super important to like build those relationships. Like even today, I have this one student that's new to our school this year. And she lazy, like eye rolling, shrugging of the shoulders. Every time, like I'm like, open your book, turn to this page, and I'm like, her looking at her work, and I'm like, you're supposed to have three sentences worth of like notes written down. You've got like one word written down, and I'm pushing you, and I'm like pushing you because I'm like, I have these high expectations of you, and you're acting like you don't care, and I know I could like get on her level, and because I'm like I could do all of that. And I was like I could be a nasty ass right back to you and get on your level. But what I did today was like I had texted her. She asked me to text her mom to let her know that she was at coach class, but her mom hasn't responded yet. But I texted her mom and asked her like what are her other interests and passions, because I'm like science doesn't seem to be it. So I'm like, but when I try to talk to her about things, she doesn't really like to come up with a lot of information. I'm like, so if mom can tell me some things, maybe I could try to make some connections between like what she's interested in science, or reference it so that way there's an effort there. Like, oh, you tried to get to know me, like you tried to find out more about me, even when I wasn't trying to come up off the info. Mm-hmm. We'll see how it works. We'll see if I get a response, but it's just an effort being made because. As much as she wants to, as much as sometimes I want to get real outside my character with her because she irritates me during class when she's being that checked out and that lazy and that like attitudinal on top of that. It also is like
attitudinal.
Yeah.
Did you just make that up?
Maybe.
Just inquiring. Go ahead.
I mean, you get what I'm saying.
I'm just inquiring.
Okay.
You honestly,
somebody got one little vocabulary segment.
Honestly, you could have told me it was a word, and I'd have been like, okay.
I know.
But
I'm saying you just get one little vocab segment, and now you want to be
I'm
fucking
just asking, listen,
Merriam-Webster over here.
I just want to make sure that I'm good. Mm-hmm. I may want to use attitudinal at my next argument somewhere.
Oh my god!
And then if I bring it up, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, this nigga's dumb."
You know what I mean? I wouldn't have you hanging out there.
So that's why I gotta ask.
Yes. Well, anyway, that's all. I'm just saying, sometimes it's like it's nice to have those relationships with some of my kids because it's worth it. Even today, like one of my now former students, she's in 9th grade. They're off tomorrow, and she was like, "Can I come? Like, I'm off tomorrow. Can I come up to the school and like help you with stuff?" So she's gonna come to the school, and I'm gonna have her help like grade stuff for me, and she's gonna get up and come to the school at 7:45 in the morning.
She wildin'. I'll be there at 9:30.
But I mean, I know some of it's boredom, but the fact that she thought to text me to ask me because she just.
I mean, she likes you. You're doing a good job, Dani.
Listen, I'm trying to help the youth, all of that.
The Ute?
Yes.
What is that?
The Ute them.
The what?
You've never heard of that? Like,
no.
Like when people like from the islands, they'll be like the Ute.
Nah.
They say like they drop the H.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know that I grew up on a block with people who were from the islands.
Yes, I know. You told me these stories. Well, not about the Utes, but that you grew up with the Haitians and they used to terrorize you.
That was at school on my block.
Okay.
It was a mix of people. It was Jamaica, Grenada, Haiti. I think it was, well, I mean, it's not an island, but it was Ecuador. So, like, it was very multicultural on my block.
Okay.
Most of my friends were, like, first-generation Americans.
Got you. But in school, it was the Haitians.
Yes.
Okay.
And some of them were great, and some of them were not great to me.
We could talk about that on another day.
Yes, about how I was bullied. But we've been on my elevator for quite some time. We can get on your well, we're gonna have to run our own elevator because somebody got fired. But continue.
No one got fired. I just conceded.
He was let go.
No, he's still there. He's still on pay. I take care of my people.
He on FMLA.
FMLA, you don't get paid.
Okay, he on short-term disability.
Okay, whatever.
He's scamming.
He's a per diem, but he still gets
he faked the work. He faked the
workman's
comp claim.
Listen. That voice you gave us was so lazy.
He stuck his foot in the elevator door and
in your elevator.
That black Air Force One got stuck.
All right. This is what we're not going to do.
All right. Going up.
Oh, that sounds a little bit better. Maybe she getting paid now.
Whatever.
You know, I start a new job.
Well,
I hate your sound effects. Yeah. So, very exciting, you know.
Are you going to talk about what you're doing?
I haven't decided.
My baby,
I work for my fraternity.
My baby is important.
I'm a regular person.
You isn't smart.
I'm a regular person.
You is important.
Still humble, you know. I'm a regular person. But yes, I've started a new job with my fraternity. And it's kind of like a dream come true.
It is. Y'all, he got the word manager and international in his title.
Yeah, you're out of control.
The world, Craig.
You're out of control.
The world.
Anyway, I've done a lot for my fraternity, and it was free.
Facts.
So now that I'm getting paid, it's kind of like full circle. And you know, it all goes to God. He does things because, you know, I was getting laid off, and I was ready for this layoff.
Yes, you were.
For a very long time. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when. And when it did, I was okay with it. And I was okay with it because in my mind, there was no way I was going back to a call center.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for jobs, but I was more like strategic this time. But, you know, I started the job recently, and it's been a great experience, and I'm learning a lot. And, you know, I'm getting the opportunity to continue serving my fraternity brothers, and, you know, on a different scale, on a larger scale.
An international scale.
You're out of control, Danny. So, that has me up. Has me real up.
Y'all, I'll say this too, like, there's just been like a general like change in like TJ's demeanor. Like, it might be some of the weight loss too, but like he's just has a lighter air about him because he's shut up. But like,
you said it.
He has been paying his dues for a very, very, very long time, and now it's like, as far as like professionally, like, you know what I mean? Like, you've been putting in your time at places that you didn't like, that you were doing things that you don't care about. Listen, and that you're miserable. But
being someone who has education, and I questioned the education a lot. All of them. My bachelor's, my 2 masters, my graduate certificate. I questioned all of it because I couldn't catch a break. Mm-hmm. But I tried not to allow that to affect me, even though some days it was like worse than others. Like, again,
it affected you.
No, I'm not saying that it didn't, but mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say is that I try not to let it affect all of me. So, you know, I learned a lot about that, and, you know, with Tatum, my nieces, my nephews, my younger cousins, I would tell them things about that next phase, like when they graduate high school, what they should be doing. Mm-hmm. Personally, I just feel like it's all about the connections. It has nothing to do with education. Helps, sure. Like, if you're going to be an engineer, yes, you should probably have an engineer degree. If you're going to try to be a lawyer, yes, you know, like specialty fields, then I think a degree matters. But what I've been seeing, at least in Maryland, I can't speak for everywhere, degrees didn't matter. Your experience mattered. What you've done mattered.
I think it's a combination of things too, though. But I think networking and knowing people gets you in the room, but you still have to use your intelligence, your
definitely,
your
but
charm.
It's getting into the room.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't tell my nephew to take a customer service. Like, I wouldn't say take a retail job and just do that for 10 years. Like, if you're going to take a retail job, you need to be thinking forward. All right? You're starting off entry level, but what's your next steps? And then what are you going to do for that? If you're going to go into a company as entry level, you should be mapping out how you're going to move forward. And within doing so, mapping out how to make sure you don't get stuck. I was stuck as a customer service phone rep person.
Yes.
So when I tried to say, well, listen, I have these masters, then it became, what experience do you have? I don't have experience in these other fields that I'm trying to break into, and that was a struggle for me. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can do anything, but you should have a master plan and be able to see that master plan and make sure that you're putting yourself in a position not to be typecast or pigeonholed.
Yeah.
Because then they're not going to give you the opportunity. Or you may be, you've been doing this for 5 years and now you found a new position or a new field you want to go into, and now you got to start all over. So that's all I'm saying. But
I mean, it's exciting now. Like, you get to get paid to do the things that you were already doing for your fraternity in a lot of ways on a smaller scale, but now you get to do it on a major platform. Yeah. And you get to travel.
I do get to travel.
That's gonna be, y'all, this nigga's gonna be gone the whole month of March. Like, I'm barely gonna see him. But I'm like very, 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 very excited and proud. Like, he got business cards. He got an office. He got a door he can close, y'all. And I am so excited. We have to go.
I appreciate it.
We have to figure out a weekend for me to come in there and decorate. But
the manager said to let you do what you want to do.
Thank you, because TJ was trying. Okay, so this is the last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on. So TJ's office is nice, but because he's new to the position, I guess they had other things in there. So the chairs that are in his office that are for like when he has to talk to someone are just 2 folding chairs. And I'm like, babe, you cannot just have like folding chairs as like you're coming to my office, have a seat chairs. They have to be like real chairs. And he's like, no, just leave them, let them be folded chairs. I'm like, that's not the type of tone somebody who has international in their title.
It could have been international
bum.
No, like package person. Like, just because that's international doesn't mean anything.
I've decided that makes you more important, so let me have my moment.
Fault. Let you be great.
So he was not trying to listen.
Shit.
He was not trying to listen.
I wasn't.
But now I'm glad that you said something to your boss. So then let me tell you how important this nigga is. He got the keys. So we can go in on the weekend. We don't got to ask nobody to let us in because he can let us in himself. That's how much they trust this nigga.
Are you trying to say that they shouldn't trust me?
No, I'm saying that like that is.
You kind of phrased it as if it was like.
That's no.
That's how I took it.
Well, that's not how I meant it.
You took this happy moment, you kind of made it a negative.
Perception is reality.
I mean, I was up now. I may have to go down.
Whatever.
This is crazy to me.
So we have to set aside a weekend.
Sure.
I have PD. Actually, next weekend I have PD on Thursday and Friday, so that might be a time I won't be in front of kids, so we can like go to the Furniture Depot and pick out like 2 chairs.
Next Thursday and Friday, I would be at work. So if you want to go.
I'll pick some stuff out, and then I'll send it to you. I mean, I'll make the final decision, and then
okay.
I'll take your input.
Okay.
And then we gonna bring them chairs in, and then I have to still pick up.
You gonna bring your mother?
I mean, we could if we have to. But I'm gonna and then we gotta get your pictures. We gotta get your little Lakers gear and your little Batman memorabilia, and we gotta make it. We gotta TJ up the place.
I'm trying to make sure I don't TJ up the place.
Why not? Oh, well, no, because
I want to make sure that it's not
junky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But we're going to like add a little bit of your personality, to your space. And I'm going to get him like a framed sign that says knock before you enter.
No.
I know, I'm just playing.
I don't ever keep my door closed. Unless I got to make like a phone call, then I'll close it. So that way.
You got to close the door to have conference calls.
I didn't say a conference call. I said if I got to make a phone call.
Oh, you got to make because they're private.
They're not private.
They're not for everybody's ears, nigga.
Nah. I don't want to be loud.
That's because
it
ain't everybody business. That's why you gotta close the door.
Anyway.
I mean, I kind of have something like an office. It's a classroom. I have a door. I can lock it. But also, my doorknob fell off on Friday. And I had to get it replaced. Although they came out really fast and did it. But I'm really, like, in all seriousness, like, I'm really, 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 really happy for TJ. I'm really happy for you, babe. Because I just, you deserve it. And
I appreciate that.
And when you're happier, which then also makes us happier.
Yeah.
And
I can agree with that. I am happier. Like, I've never had an experience where I was doing something that I loved. So it's definitely a different feel.
Welcome.
And even though like our conversations are a little bit different, like I have something to talk about now.
Yeah, because before I would be I'd be like, how's work? And you'd be like, it was work, same as always.
Because
stupid people calling in.
Yeah, because I want you to like reflect that there's a difference because I'm doing stuff now. Like I'm actually like busy, so like I'm not just answering a phone call to somebody to figure out why the benefits aren't flowing because they didn't enroll them. Like,
yeah, no, and
I actually have like different tasks, and I speak to different people. So now, like some days are gonna be busier, and because we're in our busy time now, like it's a lot busier. So it's like it's just different. So my conversations, I have more to talk about.
You have something to add, to contribute.
I just have something more to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I'm just excited.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yes.
And then another reason why I'm happy, I think we're both happy.
He's got a tie on too, y'all.
I do have to wear.
He has to dress up.
Anyway.
He looks real cute, y'all.
We are having...
Not a baby.
Not a baby.
Let's put that out there right now.
No kids. We're having a live show. Yes.
Booyaka, booyaka.
Why is Booyaka your go-to?
I'm from Queens, and I grew up on a block with people from the island, so that's where my mind goes.
That's where your mind goes?
That is where my...
Okay.
I mean, what should I say? Like, pew, pew, pew.
That doesn't sound exciting.
Okay, that's why I did Booyaka. It sounded more exciting.
It could have been like boom, boom.
No, nobody says boom, boom.
I don't know. Anyway, we're doing another live show.
Boom.
To celebrate 2 years of doing the show.
Yes. Sitting across from each other.
This time, we're going home.
I'm going home. I'm going home.
So we'll be in New York.
Tell the world I'm going home. New York City.
You just couldn't wait to do all these weird sounds.
Let me live.
Go ahead. Be great.
Thank you.
We'll be in New York City, November 17th.
It's a Sunday.
Yes, it's a Sunday.
So wear your best brunch attire. Ladies, I want to see knee-high boots and cable knit sweaters. Gentlemen, I want brunch boots. and I want wide brim hats.
Wide brim hats. If we lose sales because people think they got to come
dress code.
So, we'll give out more information
by the time this
this episode drops
on Friday. Yep.
The flyer should be out. The Eventbrite should be up. But
come out.
It's very exciting. It was very hard finding a space.
Yes.
That's affordable.
Yes.
In New York City.
Facts.
Also, the Oprah Rose Show will be hosting. Very exciting about that.
I was going to use the same sound effect, but I didn't want to do overkill. But I'm so excited for them. I'm loving it. TT and Gigi will be hosting.
Yeah, and they'll have their team with them. So it'll be great to see everybody. And, I'm excited.
And you know what I kind of thought about?
I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
I'm not nervous this time.
You're not. We switch roles.
I'm not nervous this time.
We switch roles. And
because I think there's things that we already know what we're doing. I think that like things that we did well that we're doing again, things that we didn't go great that we could do better, but because we know what that is, maybe I'll get a little bit more nervous as we get closer to it. But I feel good about it. And then I just feel like, you know, we could have so many, like, friends, family, our podcasting family that's all in New York. They
listen,
come out.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to do it home.
Mm-hmm.
And
Say we did one in New York.
Yeah, to me, that's just major.
Yes.
You know, I mean, Baltimore was major. It was the first. It was special. But to be able to go home, you know. So, yep, that's everything I have. We can get off of this low budget elevator.
Don't disrespect.
Pay the voice person.
Whatever. Listen, you making more money now. So, with that being said, we are going to go ahead and switch gears to our relationship tip of the week. Do you have one, my good sir?
Ladies first.
That means no, which means I should win.
No.
Off default.
That doesn't mean anything.
You trying to buy time?
Why do I need to buy time?
Okay.
This stuff comes off the top of the head.
Off the dome.
Like a battle rapper. You probably don't know what that is. A battle rapper is when
don't
two
explain.
rappers
Shut up.
battle.
Shut up.
And they go like round.
Shut.
So like one person goes first, the other person goes, and then.
Anyway.
Name one battle rapper.
Name one battle rapper. Lady Luck.
Anytime somebody repeats the question, they're trying to buy more time. Go ahead.
Okay.
You got Lady Luck.
And then I'm done. There we go.
And I don't even think that she had battles, I guess. But name someone more current.
I don't know anyone more current because you know why? I'm an adult.
Oh, okay. It's so many adults who listen to battle rap.
Because
I mean, I'm not one of them. I don't give a fuck.
Neither do I.
But Cassidy,
I do remember. Who was the guy? Okay, so remember those Smack DVDs?
Yeah,
that was battle raps, right?
They had battle raps.
Okay, who was the guy? And he had this like verse that I feel like kids. Like I guess I might have been in high school. I don't know. And he was like, "I know a girl named Sita. Everybody Skeetsa. All you gotta do is give her cab fare and pizza."
I think that was Jay Mills.
Jay Mills, I do remember him.
No, I don't think it was. I think they were talking about Jay Mills.
Okay.
But yeah.
That is the only.
A chick named Sita.
Everybody Skeetsa.
Mm-hmm.
All you gotta do is buy her cab fare and pizza. So that is the only battle rap verse I recall.
Okay. As you were.
Anywho, I don't like battle rap anyway because they be getting all each other's faces and it's just be like people be looking like they ready to punch somebody in the face. It's very.
Oh, some people have.
It's very intense.
Yeah,
I'm very uncomfortable. I don't like intense. I don't like uncomfortable.
You want people to be like, everybody wins.
No,
you get a trophy. I
don't want it to be like everybody wins. I like when the underdog.
Tatum.
Tatum's gonna be fine.
Because I'm teaching her. We're going for number one.
You told and taught her to uppercut the dog for nipping at her.
Hey, listen.
Not even our dog, my mom's dog.
Yeah, she got to be able to protect herself.
Well, that's fine. Between you and my sister, she's going to be perfectly fine as far as standing up for herself, defending herself. I will be there too. I'm not gonna tell her to be a pushover or anything like that. But I'll be there.
What you gonna do when it's like the championship game and it's like?
But then she's my kid, so I want her to win.
But I know, but
like, cause like,
but you don't want to see the other kids lose.
No. I don't give a fuck about the other kids when when Tatum's involved.
Oh, okay.
Just like if you were in something, if it's somebody who's like that I know personally on the team, and like you can't get any more personal than somebody I carried around for 41 weeks, I don't care about anybody else. Then honestly, I don't get so involved into like hyper competition because I get so emotionally invested, like. So I just try to like cool my jets on that, and that's why I'm not the most competitive person because I'd be the type to like cry angry tears or something like that.
Okay.
But my relationship tip of the week is sometimes, especially when you've been in a relationship for as long as TJ and I have,
so long as time,
you gotta act like you got a crush on them sometimes. So I posted TJ as my man crush Monday. And I posted something on Sunday about him too. Because I thought he just looked very good. And even though I very rarely do it. Because I just, it just doesn't even really cross my mind.
Take me for granted.
I felt good about doing it because I felt like I was publicly expressing how like I still sometimes crush on this nigga. Sometimes when he's happy and he's being nice to me and he's
nice all the time.
When he's talking to me nice, that I'm like, ooh, like, you know, I'll be like, you know, that's my baby daddy. Like, I let him, you know, I made him a father, and
I made you a mother. What do you mean?
But it just makes me, I don't know, it just makes me happy sometimes that, and when all that happens, like, I gotta act like I'm a 17-year-old girl again sometimes, and like, you know, be a little.
A long time ago.
Really, nigga?
No, go ahead.
So, and I just gotta act like I got a little bit of a crush on, even though probably 17-year-old Danny wouldn't post it if I had a crush on you. Like, you'd have to have been my whole boyfriend. I wasn't gonna put myself out there.
I was your whole boyfriend.
I know, but what I'm saying though is that, like, I wouldn't be like Man Crush Monday if you wasn't my actual man.
I mean, but we weren't even doing that back then.
Well, I mean, we didn't have an Instagram back then.
I'm just saying.
But I mean, it's not my style personally, but as far as my knee jerk. But sometimes when you're in relationships, like, you gotta go back to the moments where, like, you crush on them. So it's from like a little post to a flirty text to anything in between that speaks that language to your partner. You gotta do just to sometimes mix it up a little bit. You know, doesn't have to be all the time, but you want to say and do things to make somebody blush sometimes. And I think that is a good thing. And that is my relationship tip of the week.
Got me blushing.
I mean, he's grinning.
I am. So,
because you loyal.
Not to bring it down. So last week I discussed us having a big fight.
Mm-hmm.
So to follow up on that, I wanted to say my tip is when you're having these crazy moments of frustration, anger, when you're ready to break up with your significant other, remember why you love them. Mm-hmm. And then I think that helps. At least that helped me. So even though I was very angry at Danny, I had to remember the things that I did like about Danny that made me say, listen, sit your ass down.
To me or to you?
To myself.
Okay.
Because I was extremely angry. You were, I mean, I don't know if you were angry or not, but.
I wasn't as angry as you.
Yeah, but.
I was upset.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, last week I was saying sometimes you got to get to that point, but to counter with that, you can get to that point, but then when you get to that point, you have to remember what you loved about that person. You know, why you are with that person, and that will help. You know, it'll bring everything full circle. Mm-hmm. So I needed to feel how I felt, and I had to think irrational, but then I need to come back and be a little bit more rational with my thinking. So,
well, I can appreciate that, and it wasn't a total downer. So, I think I win, just because.
Because what?
Because
you.
I think I win.
Want to win?
Because I called it.
You called what?
The win.
This ain't Big Daddy. That's the movie, right?
Yeah, it's called I Win.
Anyway, we can go into my
word of the week.
Word of the week.
Oh, okay. What is it?
So the word of this week is going to be ebullient.
Okay.
So, ebullient meaning is more than chipper, more than happy, more than delighted. Mm-hmm. That is the definition of being ebullient. Meaning bubbling over with joy and delight.
Basically how you've been acting these last couple of weeks.
So, I will be ebullient for the live show. Did I use it right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I am ebullient for work. He didn't like that one.
No, I didn't like that one as much. It's not.
TJ's behavior has been ebullient
since he started. That is, I feel like, more apropos.
Okay. I don't know what you just said.
That means like appropriate.
Okay. I'm gonna take your word. So my favorite part is, are we gonna stump Dani?
Okay, so
are you gonna fail the spelling bee like you did in 7th grade? Eighth grade.
Thank you. Okay, I am a little so I'm because in my mind I'm seeing like a Ebullient cube, which has an O and a U in it, but I don't think that's it. And then I'm like, Ebullient, is it ENT or ANT? So I'm just gonna
shoot.
I am gonna shoot. Mind your business.
Stop prefacing.
Okay. E B U LLIANT. I mean, it's bound to happen.
Yeah, it is. And I'm sorry for your ears, people. But
TJ's very happy.
Nah, because you've been rocking.
Is this like the first one? I probably misspelled in.
Or maybe the second one. I don't. So EBULLIENT.
Dang, I knew I was gonna be like ANT or ENT. At least I knew where I was gonna trip up. Gotcha. So, now I will never forget. So.
And what was the first word that you'll never forget?
Convenience.
Convenience.
Yes.
Convenience and ebullient.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Honey makes you stronger.
It does.
Now, we're gonna take a moment. Let's hear a message from our sponsor.
Alrighty.
Hey friend, it's time for you to ditch those workout gloves and get the grip and wrist support you deserve. What do you suggest? You need to get the Gainz Load and Lock grips by Gainz Sports Gear. They are more durable than gloves, have a non-slip grip pad that provides grip support and added wrist support unlike your traditional workout gloves, and will protect your hands from calluses. Do they come in different colors? Not only do they come in different colors, but they are available for men and women. Do yourself a favor, go to GainSportsGear.com. And remember, a better grip equals a better lift. Embrace the process.
And you too can embrace the process by using our code LOVERS10 at Gainz, GAINZ, sportsgear.com. And now, back to the episode.
And we are back.
We are back.
And we're like, how many minutes in now?
Yeah, we're like 47 minutes. We were rapping.
We were. That's why I guess
it was mostly you, because you do be rapping.
You know
so
what?
Anyone who will, when they get to meet you, they'll just know that you like to talk.
I do like to talk, but so do you.
Social butterfly.
Sorta. I'm like an introverted extrovert.
There's nothing introverted about you.
I enjoy intimate settings with friends and like not always. I'm more of an extrovert, but I'm not like I don't have to be the life of the party.
If you were on a plane and it crashed and there was a group of 100 people, within an hour, you would know everybody.
Not maybe an hour.
Okay.
Maybe a couple days.
An hour and 50 minutes.
A few days.
Okay.
That's not my fault.
Listen, it's nothing bad about it. I'm just saying. You are,
I don't mind talking to people. Including you sometimes, nigga, which is why we're at 47 minutes or whatever you said. But we're going to jump. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to hold off on a listener letter for next week's episode. And we are going to jump into our quarrel for the episode. And our quarrel is something that even though we've had guests on to discuss this, TJ and I have never really had the conversation. And the conversation is about interracial dating.
Yes.
So what angle do you want to approach this topic from, babe?
Well, I was listening to Brilliant Idiots and Mouse Jones. The Guys Next Door was on. Okay. And I think Charlamagne was talking about it. He was just talking about have they ever, he was asking them, have they ever dated a white woman? Mm-hmm. And they were all like, no. They've all. So with that made me kind of sit back and be like, I never thought about dating a white woman. Mm-hmm. But I also never, I don't ever remember having like an explicit conversation with my parents of them telling me you have to marry a black woman or anything like that.
If she can't use your comb, don't bring her home.
And I mean, you hear stories about people, you know, saying that you got to marry within your own and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it just had me think like and like I said to Danny, I'm not sure if my parents had that conversation and I just don't remember it.
It's possible.
Which is very possible.
But you be tuning niggas out.
But I also just, knowing my family, knowing my parents, they wouldn't bring up a topic unless it was like something that it needed to be discussed. Mm-hmm. So if I wasn't only chasing, like if I was chasing only white women, then I can see them possibly being like, let's sit down, let's have this conversation.
Like, nigga.
But other than that, you know, so it just had me think like, you know, with Tatum, like, is that something that, is that a conversation that we would need to have? Or is it, and I mean, it's a little bit different because we're in Maryland and yes, there's black, but there's also white. And depending on what school she, like if she goes to a private school, she may see a whole bunch of white people. Mm-hmm. Now we're opening up a different floodgate of things. And, you know, it also kind of made me say like, personally, I would want my child to marry their own, but I also feel like love is love. So it gives me both sides because for me, I feel like if my child married outside of their race, is it because of love or is it because this is the best representation she received and everybody else just fucking sucked? You know what I mean? Like, or did I fail her as a father? Mm-hmm. Did I not show her what a good black man looks like? You know, I think about these things. Mm-hmm. If I had a son and he wanted to date white women or Spanish women, you know, did I not set a good trend? Did I not, you know? So those are my things. Mm-hmm. I don't think so. It's kind of hard for me because I'm not racist. I'm not, even though black people can't be racist, but I'm not prejudiced. I'm not, you know, I feel like you can't help who you love or who you fall in love with or what the situation is. But I do have those questions. And then, you know, if my children were dating outside of their race, I would have to feel like, you know, the person they're dating, do they like my child because of who my child is? Or is it a fantasy? Is it a fetish? You know, like just different things cross my mind. But I just thought it'd be something good to talk about, especially because you have a plethora.
I do have a lot of interracial love in my family, my extended family. There's some things that I definitely agree with you on. I do believe like you love is love, like love who you love. And I think the only issue I take up with people who are dating outside of their own race is when they're dating outside of their own race because they feel as though the gender that the opposing gender of their race is like they dog them out, right? But so like, you know, the one that's the prevailing one is usually like black men who date white women, and they're like, because they think that white women or women who are, you know, just like they're more subservient, or like Asian women are more subservient, and black women are just difficult and angry and, you know, have attitudes, but then Spanish women are okay because they're like spicy, you know, and they're fiery, where black women were just angry and bitter and things like that. So, you know, if that's a person's approach, or in that example, or in any other combination of the example of a man or a woman against, you know, black women or black men or Asian women or Asian men, Spanish, and so on and so forth, that I take issue with, because it's like, it's one thing if you meet somebody, you like them, you fall in love with them, you're attracted to them, and then that's it. It's another thing if you are only actively seeking another group of people because you dislike the group of people that you share melanin with or you share culture with. So that is my only thing. I mean, the people in my family, most of the people in my family that even if they are like married to a white person, and let me say this, most of the people in my family who are married to somebody that's not black are married to someone who is white. Most of them, at least to my knowledge, have at least either been married to or dated like black women, black men, or and then just kind of ended up with someone white. For the most part, I'm just like, listen, it is what it is. It's not my business. Love who you love. I know some people in my family are a little bit more vocal about it, as far as like all these white people in our family, blah blah blah. But I think as long as like cultures and that stuff are still being acknowledged and recognized and celebrated, then so be it. Now, as far as Tatum is concerned, I don't know. Like, so like I feel like growing up, so like my mom is like, even though my mom is the fairest of them all, she's like probably the most militant person in my family. And she's
up there.
I really feel like even though we may have had like a few conversations, and I'm pretty sure she probably was like, don't bring home no white boy. And
she probably told you that more than she told Shayla that.
I don't know, maybe. Mm-hmm. But
I also social butterfly. I could have seen you with a. With Andrew.
When I went to camp, when I went to like sleepaway camp, there were like a few white boys I thought were like cute, but that's also because that was like the majority of the boys that were there. Oh. But I used to like, I don't know. I did whatever conversations that did or didn't happen. I think based on my upbringing, it was implied implicitly and or explicitly that like we want you to have to marry a black man. But also too, like, I have found white men or men outside of my race attractive, but
Adam Levine.
Yeah, absolutely. But I've never been inclined to actually, like, once I became of like dating age, that I ever was like even remotely, like, it didn't even come into like my mind space of like, oh yeah, I want to date a white guy, or I want to date an Asian man, or I want to date a Spanish guy or something like that. Like it was kind of like happenstance. But I also feel like too, like, black men were the ones who were attracted to me. Like, I would be.
So if a white man was attracted to you, he would have, at FDA, if it was a white guy who went there and he paid you attention, then you may have.
I might have entertained it just because, it's flattering if anybody pays you attention. And so I wouldn't have, let me say this, I would not have like completely like rebuffed and be like, oh, you're white, hell no, this and the other. But I would have been like, it would probably feel odd. And actually I've had like, well, there was some like Spanish boys when I was like growing up, but, and then like
when
in like high school and stuff like that.
I never hear about this
because it was never nothing.
It's crazy to me.
And like there was this one, I don't know, I can't remember where exactly his family's from in Africa, but there was one African guy too, and so. I feel like I think like
it's more of the.
I'm like light skinned.
Well, I'm saying it. I
always thought that was the case that why that particular guy kind of liked me.
Oh, he liked you because you were light skinned.
I think he was color struck. Yeah.
That is something that happens. And see, that's why I also think location matters, because in New York, Spanish would be considered. Like, that wouldn't be necessarily
it's
considered.
Like Afro-Latina?
Afro-Latina is a new thing that.
Oh yeah, it wasn't used.
And I'm not taking that. I'm not saying that it. I'm not diving.
It always existed. That. It just wasn't as much of like a term you heard.
It's a thing now.
It's a term that's more often used.
Yes.
But it was always people of African descent that were also Latino or Latinx. I'm just saying that I grew up with
Spanish people, and they were not
treated differently.
They weren't trying to be black.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to say, I am an Afro-Latina. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's a newer term. Again, we progress as society, as people. Maybe now they want to be more, maybe now they want to accept their their other roots, and that's fair. But I'm saying, like, being in New York, if you dated a Spanish girl,
it was whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't. Like, if I would have brought home a Spanish girl, I don't think my parents would have.
Bat an eye.
Well, they may have.
Bat an eyelashes, excuse me.
I don't know. But I think if I would have brought home a white girl, it may have been like. Yeah, exactly. But then again, my parents would have been, especially my mother, it would have been more about, like, her family and stuff like that. It'd have been more about her.
I'm not sure how a white girl would fare with your family.
They would have seen Ice and be like, "Fuck this."
She would have gone out. She was like, "And I'm leaving." She's like, "I'm sorry. Where's the restroom?"
She would
have
out
the door.
This, you sir?
It's
she and yeah.
And I think, you know what though too is like, even if I had dated other guys or whatever of different ethnicities and races, I still think that like part of me would have been like, I would want to marry a black man. Because so like one thing I always felt is like, and maybe and like why I do love black people, I love being black, I love black men, is it's the cultural thing, right? It's nothing against any other culture, but it's just like, I don't have to explain to you when I put on a bonnet at night. I don't have to explain to you why I gotta wrap my hair, or why I need braids, or why, you know, I have to.
Well, you're assuming that because you might have.
But you have a
known.
black mother, and that's the thing. Like you have a black aunt, and you have a black god sister, and so.
Granted, but there are some people who have family members who don't do these things.
But I feel like these are staples of Black American culture or Black culture. Yeah, well, Black American culture.
But what about the Black American culture who don't want to embrace the Black American culture? What if you date that person?
Then he's not for me.
No, but I'm just saying, for you to just say you don't want to have to explain that, you may there may be a black family who don't wrap their hair.
But I think that would be in the minority.
Okay.
Like I don't like there are things that I can say to you as my husband who is a black man that I've never once had to explain or had to. And so like what is a benefit of dating somebody from the same culture as you, and not just because, and it's not to downplay or down to talk down on interracial dating, but a benefit of dating somebody from your own culture is that those cultural norms are things that you don't have to like give an explanation to. You don't have to be like, this is why I do this. This is why it's important. This is, you know, you don't have to be like the representative for your entire culture to another person. Gotcha. Now, again, that is like that is a sweeping statement, because there are people who like, if you grew up with around nothing but black people, then you may not have to explain it, even if that person is of another race. But and so every nothing is cut and dry. Nothing is like all or nothing. But I just do think that like that is something that is a benefit. It's a plus when it comes to Tatum.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I would want her to have those same benefits.
But
if she brought somebody else home,
but will we have the conversation with Tatum? Would that be something that we would say
explicitly?
We would kind of explain the importance of being within your own, or is it one of those things that if we see a trend, then it's like if she thinks NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and these are the type of, like, she thinks all that stuff is the boys of her dreams, and sorry, that's the only thing I could think of.
I mean, I liked NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, and I married a black man.
You were pretty touch and go.
Shut the fuck up.
That's why your mother had to listen.
Anyway,
Tony had to let you know.
I think with Tatum, I don't think I would feel comfortable having an explicit conversation with her saying like, love who you love, but we would love if you married or brought home a black guy, because then she could take that and then like miss out on the love of her life and the person that would treat her like the queen that she should be treated as, and that's going to love her and treat her the best way possible that we would want for her, our daughter. But I think that what I would do, and what I would hope that what I would say that we should do as her parents is to to celebrate our blackness all the time. And to talk about how being black is beautiful, about how, melanin is beautiful, about how, people of all different shades, about how our hair is beautiful, about how, our culture, and like to celebrate black men and black women and also be black women, like celebrate each other as a black man, as a black woman, as her mother and father.
Okay.
And she would grow up seeing and thinking about greatness and excellence and love in being black and understanding. And I mean, I have thoughts about this too, because Tatum is so fair skinned, because she's going to sometimes catch it from both sides. Like, because she's going to be like, people are going to assume, like, if Tatum remains with fair skin, which she is, and these gray eyes, that people are going to question her ethnicity, even her hair texture.
Listen.
But she
when she gets a little bit older, Drake nonstop, I'm playing for her. Because she's light skinned, but she's still a dark nigga.
Oh my God.
Straight up.
So
and you're right.
I mean that's how I would encourage her.
I think about
without
that as
saying
well.
it. But ultimately it's up to her. If she marries, if she meets, Luis or Ben or
I would never say them. I would never tell her she can't date outside of her race.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I would never. But it just had me think, like, as a parent, you got to think about these things. And you got to think about your childhood and what was discussed and what wasn't discussed. And that's what brings it up, In the movie The Hate U Give, like, the main character, Star, had
a white boyfriend.
She had a white boyfriend, but she also was, like, color switching. When she code switching. When she was with her white friends, she
was one way.
Was acting white, quote unquote, and then when she was with her black friends, she acted black. But even though in the movie she was kind of like, they knew that she wasn't from the hood, so they joked on her or whatever. But it's just, again, we have so many different things in society and social media and everything else, and it's just one of those things that was just kind of like, how would we tackle this? How would we discuss this? How would we?
Yeah, I think we.
And again, we're saying this now. Maybe 4 years from now, we may have a different outlook. We may have a different view or whatever.
Once Tatum becomes of dating age, if we, like you said, if we see patterns and trends that have like give us pause one way or the other, like
no, definitely.
It's like. Because it'd be one way, like, oh, there's a nice boy that likes her, but he happens to be not black, and she's like curving the shit out of him, and we're like, why? If like that's the only reason is because he's not black, that we could talk to her about that. Or if nobody that comes through her door, depending on where she goes to school and who she's around, is black, and then we could also be like, why?
Definitely.
And having those conversations.
But I think having the conversation now, me and you, is something that we can remember to going forward or think about things. Again, I would want Tatum to be Tatum.
Yes.
And I would want Tatum to be comfortable being Tatum regardless. If you're with black people, with white people, I would want to instill in Tatum confidence.
Well, I don't think she's going to have any problem with that.
Yeah, but I mean, because of who she is now, I would agree with you. But it is something that everyone deals with.
People get insecure, people feel shame.
And different things, yeah. So, that will always be my goal. I want her to be confident regardless. I don't want her to ever feel like she has to act white or do things that she don't want to do because people are going to think she's not cool or whatever. Like, And
we won't even say act white. We would just say, like, she feels like she has to, like, not be herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever that may be.
Yeah, I don't necessarily believe in there's an acting white versus some people
or just because you don't have like
or they grew up in different areas, but that doesn't take away from who you are.
Yeah, or like you go, and then or you go someplace and because you don't talk a certain way, even when you're around black kids, and then like they get on you about that and whatever. And
her joke game gonna be ready.
She gonna be firing people up.
You have to. Even though, so like I was talking to one of my frat brothers, and we were talking about how he was talking about how kids used to like joke on people not knowing their situation. Mm-hmm. And I thought about that. Like, we joked. And we may say shit and not know what that person is going through. It kind of goes back to what you were saying. Like,
It still happens today. It happened today at school.
Yeah, but, you know, that's one thing with my kids I would kind of try to, like, joking is a mechanism. Joking is a way for people to, you know, fuck with you and laugh with you and shit like that. It's a way to kind of show dominance, and always remember that although you're joking, someone may not be in the mood to joke. You know, like, try to just always be a good person is what I'm gonna say. Mm-hmm. But when he said it, it just made me think, like, you know, we may have said shit to people not really knowing their situation growing up. You know, my friend Rock talks about it, like he grew up poor or whatever. Granted, I never really joked on Rock. Rock was pretty quiet, but hearing him talk about growing up less than, it kind of made me say, damn, like, I didn't even know. And then, you know, the person I am now is like, damn, could I have asked more questions? Could I have been a better person to Rock? Could I have been like, you know, come to my crib and let's play video games? Because, like, I didn't really have friends in school because I had friends on my block, but like, I was cordial with everybody, but could I have been a better person?
I mean, I think that's very self-aware of you to ask that, you know, ask that of yourself, but at the same time, to give yourself grace. I think that, like, you know, when you're in high school, like, adolescents, teenagers, they're like super self-involved, and you're not thinking necessarily, unless it's like right in front of your face, or unless you know the person well enough to know that. So I don't think I definitely didn't make you a bad person, because it wasn't like you were going out of your way.
I don't feel like I was a bad person.
No,
but I'm just saying,
there's nothing wrong with having even
back,
not processed that when you were 16 years old.
Yeah, you're right. But if I could help Tatum or my future children to be to see things in a wider lens, then they may be able to do things that
you didn't think to do.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That's kind of where I was trying to get back to. But
got it.
All right. Well, that was a nice, healthy quarrel.
It was an invigorating conversation.
Using big words again.
It's not a big word. Invigorating? You know how to spell it?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm not even going to try. So on that note, you know, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Lovers Quarrel.
Yes.
Again,
live
we love
show.
talking to you. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, live show, November 17th. Get your tickets.
Yes.
We'll have the link in the show notes.
Yes.
And we will be posting about it. Come one, come all.
Yeah. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And
exactly.
You know, really
we'll have a lot of
about it.
fun show in store.
Yeah, you know, get to see us in person.
Again.
Do what we do. Yeah.
Smaller versions of ourselves.
Yes, we are smaller versions of ourselves. Thank you for, again, tuning in to another episode of Lovers Quarrel. If you want to send us a lover mail, you can send us an email at
Words
mean things.
Lovers
Quarrel
show
at gmail.com. See, typically I would have just cut that part out, but I'm going to leave it there. Lovers Quarrel show at gmail.com. We are on Twitter, Lovers Quarrel 7. We are on Instagram, Lovers Quarrel show. You can communicate with us. We are very transparent. We have conversations, and, you know, we appreciate those who shout us out, retweet us, talk to us, and you know, help with the conversation. Because this is all, that's what everything is. We're having a conversation, being transparent, and learning from each other. Please
like, share, follow, tag.
Yeah, and review.
Yeah, leave us reviews. Let us know how we're doing.
That's very important.
Feedback.
So again, give us a 1-star, give us a 5-star. Just let us know why, and then we can continue growing and working on that. And with that, as always, I'm your guy, TJ.
And I am your girl, Dani. And you know that we fuss.
We fight,
but we love. Bye. Ebullient.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.